Well, hello guys, it's me Zane, back at it again with my plants. So I was watching certain videos on the internet and I realized that there is a certain topic which is pretty popular right now, so let me do that also. I'm gonna show you a bunch of plants from different genera and different whatevers, different species. So if you're curious about my other plants and my other videos, well, you can check them out. And also, if you're new to this channel, what? Holy shit. Well, consider the option of subscribing to my channel, and also consider the option of following me on Instagram, because there you might find something interesting. Let's do this shit. Today I thought I'm gonna show you my top 5 rare plants. My rarest plants in my collection, I acquired some of them because I really needed them. Well, basically only one I acquired as a gift and I never knew it existed. So let's talk about that one first. This guy, my Begonia. This is going to be quite a name. Begonia U614. At first, let me say that this is not the Begonia sycamore or whatever is the name. I just cannot remember that because I'm not a good Begonia daddy. I got it from one of my fellow YouTubers, Rachel. Hi Rachel. Well, she's a very good friend of mine and she sent me this Begonia and I was like, holy shit. This is the most beautiful Begonia I have ever seen. U614. Well, you might say this is quite a curious name for a Begonia. Well, let me tell you, that's right. This is not like a proper name because it was recently collected from, like, I think Asia, parts of Asia, India, whatever. It was such a rush that they just named U614 and that's all. So basically this is the reason it's not so popular and a bit more rare than other begonias, because you can get other begonias in flower shops and in nurseries and whatever. So, well, I acquired this as a gift. I searched it on Google and I found actually one place where this one is sold. Well, let me say, this one is clearly not in the healthiest state. I'm struggling a little bit with it. I don't know why. All my begonias I like. Well, here we are, luscious and beautiful and we're blooming. Not this one though. I'm struggling a little bit with it. I'm not sure why. I've heard that it likes colder temperatures. Well, guess what? I'm giving colder temperatures to it. But for me, it's doing better in like summertime and in hot temperatures. So right now, I'm not sure about that. Just look at this leaf shape. I mean, holy shit, what is this? And when I got it, it had a different coloration. Right now these leaves are a little bit more green, maybe it needs some more sunlight. When I got it, the leaves were much more silvery, the edges on the leaves were more red, and in the veining at the center of the leaves, that was more red also. So maybe I might give it more light to see how it changes the coloration. And then you get the back side of the leaf, which is just red, and I think it's mind-blowingly, beautifully, amazingly fabulous. Now, all these other plants which I have here are those kinds of plants which were on my wish list because I found them. I found out that they are rare, and the rareness and the beautifulness combined in my mind translated into a serious need of them. So all these others were acquired throughout the years of my plant growing. Now let's start. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Now let's talk about this one. This is my Echeveria lauri. So this is a succulent and this looks insane. I mean, it's a plant but it's not green. It's a plant but the leaf shape is pretty not leafy. Yeah, it's a plant and it can survive in your home as well if you give it the right conditions. The Echeverias are those kinds of succulents which form these very extremely beautiful rosettes. That's why the Echeveria genus is one of my favorite plants, because I just love it. Totally, I'm in love with this rosette pattern and whatever. Now, this bitch is extra. I mean, look at it. It has this bluish, whitish, round, thick leaves. Mind-blowing, absolutely amazing. and right now I have 2 flower spikes growing on it, so it will be a extremely beautiful show. While the flowers are not that showy on this plant, but still, this bluish rosette is already like a flower, so it's just a flower reception because it looks like a flower is flowering. So yeah, I have no words. Now, since this is a succulent, it will need succulent care. You can find the succulent care on my channel basically, but it needs a free draining soil, it needs less watering than other plants, and it needs plenty of sunshine. That's why it has these bluish colored leaves, because on the leaves there is this waxy coating which will protect it against the sunshine. So it's a really smart plant, and also I have to say that it's rare because it's not like any other succulent. You take a leaf cutting from any other succulent, you put it in the soil, and bang, you have 1 new succulent. Not this one though. She's extra. She's really extra, okay? This Echeveria is like, no, I won't be propagated through leaf cuttings because it's much harder to propagate. I was lucky, and last year when it was growing 2 flower spikes, one of the flower spikes turned out to be an offset which grew on the plant, then I separated them. So right now I have like 2 Echeveria lauris, and I'm like the happiest person on the earth because I have 2 lauris, because the beauty of these plants is just overwhelming. My next one, I'm not gonna take it off from this place. This is my Vanda sanderiana, which is an orchid. And well, the Vanda orchids are a pretty popular genus because, you know, you have these big leafy things hanging and they have beautiful flowers and beautiful stuff happening on them. The root system is hanging down, so they are really fabulous, but basically you can get them in every flower shop. So you might say, Zane, this is not really rare. Let me tell you, this is rare because this is not a hybrid. This is not a hybrid sold in these garden centers. This is a species, which means it's growing in the wild just like mine here is growing. And let me tell you that these orchids and these plants are not acquired from the wild, they are propagated and stuff. So yeah, we're not going into these illegal stuff here on my channel, except of copyright issues sometimes. So basically this is a wild orchid, and it's really rare and special because it's harder to acquire. Nowadays it's propagated in these nurseries, but in the wild it's getting rarer and rarer because the Vanda sanderiana was at some point over collected. Maybe right now it's still over collected, I'm not sure about that, but I think it is. It has these really huge flowers. Mine never flowered for me because it's still a bit younger. You see, this is the problem with the Vanda sanderiana and also this other orchid. You can get it if you buy basically a little baby plant. If you buy a little baby plant, you can basically wait 10 years until it will flower for you. The journey is worth it AF because this has really beautiful blooms. So nowadays it's not really there if you want to find a baby plant, but if you want to find this big guy for a reasonable price, good luck. It's not really possible. After this orchid, we have another orchid here. This is my Paraphalaenopsis labukensis. Look at that, not really natural shape. Like, what is this? This is a rare, rather rare orchid, and it can go really pricey. You can get a baby plant, but it's rather rare. You can get an adult plant if you search years for it, and if you're lucky, guess what? I was really lucky. I was at the Budapest Orchid Show and I was searching for some orchids, and then I saw this Paraphalaenopsis labukensis and I was like, oh shit, these are huge. I'm so curious about their price, and I checked the price and they were like 20 euros and I was like, what the fuck, I need to buy this. This is a bargain. This is mine. All of you are mine now. Well, this actual growing habit is really weird because it really likes to hang down, and I was like, well, I won't water it every day on an orchid mound because I'm not that person. So basically right now this is my hanging sphere pot experiment with my rare Paraphalaenopsis labukensis, so I was really stressed about killing it in this new experimental setup. But hey, it's still living. And let me tell you, it's not only living, bitch, it has a flower spike. And I'm serious. I'm gonna have a beautiful Paraphalaenopsis labukensis flowers, and the fragrance should be really amazing as well. So, wow, this is a win. I read on the internet that in cultivation, the length of the leaves can go up to 2 meters. I mean, that is, at first, I have to say, that is insanely long. And my second thoughts about that is, that must be really beautiful. So here I am, I'm ready for the 2-meter long leaves. Yeah, and the last thing which is not here, which I'm gonna talk about here, it's a extremely popular plant on Pinterest and on Instagram. It's like the plant of the year. It's a rare, so it's hard to get it. And it's the Monstera deliciosa variegata. Bitch, I have that plant. I don't know, I was really lucky. Well, the story is, I was at one of the local garden centers like a year ago with my best friend, and there was I was there alone. And yeah, I was there alone, and I was like walking there around and seeing what they have, and there were these beautiful variegated monsteras, and I could not believe that this regular garden center actually brought variegated monsteras. I mean, what? How is that possible? What is that? And I was like, well, whatever. It's pricey, buy. And I went back a few weeks later, and I don't know how, I don't know what the people actually thought, but one of the variegated monsteras was there, and it was discounted, and nobody bought it, and it was still pricey for me because I was saving up money for something else, and I was devastated that I did not buy it after I left the garden center. And guess what? I told my best friend that there is this variegated monstera there. And guess what? I have a dance group and they bought it for my birthday, so yeah. Well, I'm not that crying from happiness person, but my insides were like a river at that point when I got it. So yeah, I have a variegated monstera. Well, it was discounted, so there are a little bit of these browning issues and stuff going on with it, but I already repotted it and did stuff to make its life happier. It has a lot of room for the roots to grow and stuff, so right now it's living its best life, and I'm giving everything what I can, and I'm in love with that plant basically. Guess what? It grew a leaf which is just white. I'm getting hungry, I need to eat something. So yeah, this is my top 5 rare plants for this video in my collection. I wanted to choose those plants which are in my collection, not just talking about plants which are out in the wild. So yeah, this is my video for today, and I hope you liked it. If you liked it, click on the like button. If you disliked it, well, you know, there's the dislike button also, and you can dislike it. I guess it's good for me because the YouTube algorithm won't do anything about that. You can leave a comment in my know it all section. You can subscribe to this channel, you can subscribe to my other channel, and follow me on Instagram, and hit the bell button if you want to get notifications every time I post something. So yeah, see you next time. Bye guys.